It's an honor to be in this same room with you here in Grand Rapids. Even though you may not understand what is happening, you may not understand what is going on, you may not understand what's occurring, you still need to participate. We have to make sure you know what direction you're trying to go in so that we can make some type of positive change. We can't afford to sit back and do nothing anymore. We have to get the conversation to the table. And although it's an uncomfortable conversation, it needs to be said. My son wanted the same thing that your children want, the same thing that you want, which is a right to live, a right to grow up. He was not perfect, but at the same time, he was no criminal. He had his flaws and he had his mistakes as a teenager. But the same things you did as a teenager, as a 17-year-old, is the same things that Trayvon loved to do. He used to love to go to the mall. He used to love to buy those expensive sneakers. He used to love to go get a haircut, and most of all, he loved to talk on the phone, which was something he was doing right before he was followed and shot and killed. So what could it have been to cause my son to lose his life? And although this is an uncomfortable subject, because it's uncomfortable for me as well, and I'm African American, but the very thing that caused my son to lose his life was the color of his skin. And I know it's uncomfortable, but we have to talk about it. And there's a lot of things that I could take off right now. I could take off my scarf, my sweater, my pants, my boots. I can take off all of those things, but I cannot take off the color of my skin. Sometimes we just have to use our common sense on things. And although they want you to believe a certain thing, you have to use your better judgment. And you have to place yourself in Trayvon's shoes. And you have to say to yourself, I may not be African American. I might not be a young man. But you place yourself in those shoes as if you were walking home from the store with a drink and candy in your pocket, and imagine somebody following you and how you would feel. So what happened to Trayvon, we don't want to happen to any more of our children. And how do we do that? We do that by making sure we are talking about these uncomfortable subjects. I too am a United States citizen. And it hurts my heart to see what continues to happen in our country. And people just sit back and they say, well, that's somebody else's child. Well, that's happening in this area, or in this community over here. This is not my house and what's happening to me. Well, this is what's happening to me, and this is what's happening to your country. Are you going to continue to sit back and do nothing? Or are you going to participate in what's going on in your country? I think about Mike Brown's family. I think about the Sandy Hook family, the Aurora families. It's just so many things that are occurring through senseless gun violence, and we have to do something about it. We can't continue to remain silent.